Hey there, FreshBooks users. This is a video to show you how to map your items and services to a handful of income accounts so that when you run your profit and loss statement, you can see, a few buckets of different types of income, which you can then use to apply strategic decision-making to your business. My name is Kate Josephine Johnson. I'm a FreshBooks expert. You should be subscribed to this channel if you use FreshBooks, and always know that you have access to me. Comment on the video. You can come to my once-a-month free Q&A. I've got lots of links in the description below that will let you know how to interact with me. But today, I'm going to teach you how to improve your business strategy by knowing how well the different services and items that you sell are doing. And I'm recording this video in January. You might be watching it any month of the year. January is like the best time to be doing this. Actually, sorry, the best time to do this is from day one of your FreshBooks account. If you do FreshBooks properly, you're going to be setting up all this stuff down here below this tiny gray line. And it's all this stuff that is done after all this is set up. Most people don't jump right in here. Hardly anyone starts down here, but that is the right way to do it. If you want just a little bit of support, like getting FreshBooks set up properly, just let me know. That is definitely something I can help you with. So what we should be doing is hanging out here in the items and services section before we do anything. So got my demo company here, Food Safety Consultants. Let's look at this business's items and services. We're service-based business, so she's only got services, and she helps big food manufacturing plants in a consulting role. And it looks like we have, 10 services. But what I want you to take a look at is this column right here, income account. Now, when we created a new service, you have this line right here that allows you to map whatever it is you sell, your new service, to an income account. And by default, there's no extra here. If you don't change this, it's going to an account called sales, okay? And your accounting is correct. Like, you could file your taxes with everything being mapped to sales, but if you want to be able to see some granularity, you would be creating new income accounts. And so on the fly, you would do this right here, add new account. I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to say, it's a really hard exercise, but I told her, look, you've got to write down what it is you sell, and then let's put those handful of things into a smaller handful of buckets. And so we've got consulting income, educational resources, speaking and training income, and crisis management, okay? So let's take a look at an error that I see. So we created 2 services. Maybe she did this very first and she didn't know about mapping. So we got OSHA compliant handbook and SOP documentation. And I'm going to put both of those, so I can click more, change income account, to educational resources. So these big manufacturing places of food, they come and they say, we need you to create some resources for us. That's what this is. So we're changing these. Now, when you make invoices, y'all, you're supposed to not be typing inside of invoices in those line items. You're supposed to be selecting from one of your existing items and services. So let's take a look at an invoice that I made for 2026. This one right here. I made an invoice. Let's edit it. And, okay, I said she did all these things. Let's add one more line. Let's add, some PR management. Maybe they had a problem with the town they were in. And that costs $3,000. All right, so now we got this invoice. We are going to hit save. Oh, I realized I marked this paid. So I'm going to go change the payment. Let's say it was, I'm going to go change the payment. Let's edit that. Let's say, so I need to add $3,000 more to this. Let's mark the whole thing paid, so it's not overdue anymore. Okay. Now, y'all, we're going to come to the report section, scroll down. You probably should favorite the profit and loss anyway, guys. Hit that star. Go into the profit and loss, the favoriting, added it to the cards at the top. And it's thinking. We can open this income account. And do you see how we are able to tell that she has sold some consulting work, some crisis management work, some educational, and some speaking? Let me blow that up a little bit. It's about as big as I can get. So again, if you just saw income, her P&L is right. But if she wants to know, hey, it turns out lots of people are buying my educational resources. Maybe I should put more time and energy into building out this service this year. This is really what those companies want. That would be useful information. Now, you cash basis tax filers, Americans who are cash basis tax filers, which is almost the entire user base of FreshBooks, you still have to click View All Report. As of the day I'm recording this video is January 26th. I don't know how long this will be true. Let me fill that out. But for now, for cash basis, to get this button cash basis, we have to view the old reports. And the bad news is when we hit apply on cash basis, there is no way to get breakout of the sales account, the income accounts on cash basis reports. Did you see how when it was by transaction type, I was able to hit cash basis, but then I hit this by account and it automatically popped it back to accrual? So this is only showing on accrual method. So we're going to click apply, and this looks awfully like what we just saw on the new view of the report, but it's only on this accrual basis. So how can you, as a cash basis tax filing American, use this? Well, it's still kind of good enough. You can look at your income reports on an accrual basis, and the spirit of these numbers is going to point you in the right direction. It should not be that wildly different in terms of the strategy you would adopt based on whether you saw these on an accrual basis or not. Now, don't use these to file your taxes. Don't provide these to your tax pro. You're just going to be able to only provide something that looks like this with just the single sales line. But that's fine. Give that to the tax pro, and then you use it for your own like CFO strategy work. If this kind of stuff is exciting to you, but maybe it's not your strength, I do this stuff all day long for FreshBooks users. Happy to help you. Happy to be your bookkeeper and strategic advisor. I'll offer a variety of different services to be able to help you. Now, let me tell you one problem. You might get excited by this thing that you just learned, and you have already sent invoices. And that stinks because they're all being met the sales unless you changed it. We're going to look at last year. Let's just go last quarter. And I'm going to open income, and all of the previous invoices that I've made for last quarter, I hadn't mapped into anything because I did this as a cleanup and I just mapped everything to a generic category called historical sales. So if we needed to change some of this, you have to go manually edit your invoices. So if you're watching this in March, there's not too much time that's passed. Maybe you actually go edit those January and February invoices. So for the whole year, you can have this data. But what you would do, come to an invoice. Let's go edit this invoice because it's in the last quarter. I need it to be $2,100. So I'm going to edit it. And then I would actually have to say, I'd actually have to select the service that has already been mapped. So I'll make it 21,000 again. I then will delete this guy. I will click save. I don't think we've broken anything. Let's go see if it's showing up on the reports. Reports, profit and loss in our list up there. Let's go to last quarter now. And we should have a bunch of stuff in sales, but hopefully we have one thing in whatever this service I selected it was mapped to. And so we opened up income. All the rest of the stuff still were those invoices that I hadn't changed, but the one that I did change is pulled out. We did $21,000 of crisis management in Q4, and it is now showing. So you have the choice of going back and changing stuff, or just know that you're going to end the year with some stuff in sales, but then you'll have stuff mapped for the rest of the months, depending on when you start watching this video. And then in the following fiscal year, everything will be humming along nicely now that you know how to do this. That is mapping your items and services to a few income accounts in FreshBooks. We create the income accounts. We map the services to them. Remember that less is more. If you're tempted to make 10 income accounts, you probably are not thinking about this right. Also, I have a video called The Right Way to Use Items and Services in FreshBooks. I'm going to link that below. That is one of my top 5 most important videos that FreshBooks users need to watch. It's not super technical about FreshBooks, that actually creating your items and services is going to be easy, but it's going to teach you why you need to think about this, because it is a really hard sort of philosophical mental exercise answering the question, what in the world do you do? You probably do less than 10 things. Most of you probably less than 5 things. And yet you have 70 items and services. You need to figure out a small, probably 20 or less items and services list that then you're going to use, and then you're going to edit the descriptions when you make a customized invoice for someone. And you probably have a handful of income accounts that would be meaningful to show up here on a profit and loss statement. Thanks for listening. I hope this was helpful. I can use this software in my sleep, y'all. I can do backflips in this software. It's taken me years to learn it. If you get access to me, you will learn to use this as a tool. It can be so much more than just a general ledger tool. A couple of resources I'll point you to are my weekly checklist for FreshBooks users, my year-end checklist for FreshBooks users. I'll put those down below. And you're always invited to my once-a-month free Q&A session where you can ask me a question and I'll answer it for free. It happens on the 3rd Thursday of the month. The link to those sessions will be below. There'll be a registration link. Sign up and let's meet. Yeah, you can ask me any question about FreshBooks or your business. If this video was helpful and we remain strangers and you know that you're going to let someone else do your books or you're going to do them yourself and you're just going to be in my YouTube videos, one of the greatest ways to say thank you is subscribe to the channel, give this video a like and a comment, and visit Heritage Business Services/tools, and there will be a list of all of my recommended tools. It'll take you to a Google Sheet, and many of those links will be referral links behind them. The items on that list are things that I actually use, and it would be a great way for you to say thanks if you're going to use any of those tools. So, ending the video with that, any one of you who've listened that far, I'm hoping you're appreciating what I'm saying and maybe would value a way to say thanks. I'm Kate Josephine Johnson, and I help businesses build their business legacy.